Enter your hot, rich, healthy and successful era. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Cassie Amber if you're new here, and I share videos on plant-based nutrition, mindset, personal development and bodybuilding, all things becoming your next level self. Excuse the noise, usually I try to film at night, so there's like a few birds and things going on, but you've got to make do with what you can. The first thing I'll touch on is I actually already filmed this video and I did this beautiful mermaid shoot down at the beach wearing my bikini from the show that I just did because I wanted to make the most out of like wearing it. And we actually dropped my phone in the ocean for a second and the microphone actually connects into the charging port, which is the part that dropped into the water. So I came home and filmed one of my favorite videos ever, and I had beautiful angel hair and makeup with jewels on it. And then I went to go edit it, and big decent chunks of the audio was gone because of the microphone not being able to connect. So on the plus side, because I've been doing so much work on my mindset and nervous system regulation, old me would have been like, oh, for fuck's sake. And like when I was in a relationship, I would like call my boyfriend in the middle of the day and be like, guess what happened now? What do I do about it? And just like completely having a mental breakdown because I couldn't handle anything going wrong because I was so dysregulated and in a stressed out state. So even though I was like finally ready to post it, and I was doing like chatting a little bit about my fantasy life program as well at the end. So when I do bring it up at the end, I am going to run another round in January to start off next year on the right foot. But yeah, I was like, okay, extremely disappointing, but it's an issue to deal with tomorrow once I've got a fresh brain after a decent sleep and things like that. So I missed last week's episode upload for that reason, but everything is okay because everything is fine. So the clips won't match up. Some of it will be me today and some of it will be this beautiful angel, but I didn't want to record the whole thing because I really liked some of the topics that I talked about from the parts that I could save. So let's get into it. So why I feel inspired to chat about this is because I've actually been in like a period of solitude, and going into the bodybuilding prep, I kind of just went all inward and didn't really see anyone. And also I didn't have a car for like 4 months. I just got one like last week. So that kind of helped like not going out to socialize unless it was actually to go to work, or if I was booked to DJ at a gig, which still classes at work as work. But like I wasn't just going out to like hang out with people or socialize and things like that because I just went all in on my goals, tunnel vision, and my life has just improved so much. Like I used to be so scared of being single and like not having anyone to help me in times of need, and just like I didn't think I would actually be this satisfied being on my own. And now I just lay in bed with my dog and like started listening to like frequency music, and I never would have, like that kind of sound would have like frustrated me before. I would have had to leave the room like, ooh, what the hell is that? Like get it off. But I've been listening to this feminine healing success frequency music and laying there with my dog and lighting the candle and eating my chocolate because I'm not in prep anymore, and driving my car around, and I'm like, this is fantastic. I'm actually just having the best time. And yeah, just having all your energy on yourself, which I've never done. I'm so happy. So I want to show you what I've done to get here. Also, if you want to stay up to date with more daily content, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Cassie Amber Wellness. And I upload these episodes to both the podcast and YouTube, so you'll be able to find the links for both below. So first step is to write down where you're currently at. How do you feel day to day? What do or don't you like about your reality? What bad habits are keeping you stuck? So define what needs to change to achieve your dream life. Do you need to move house, cities, or countries? change your job, maybe start a side hustle or a business, let go of unnecessary responsibilities to create more time and energetic space in your weeks, and then create a vision board and reassess your goals so you can actually start making it happen. And it's funny to reflect on personal development and self-growth and even coaching, because I am working with someone to help me map out my 2025. And yesterday we sat down and we did a 90-minute deep dive call into my patterns. And it's just so funny because I've been told I'm a very self-aware person, which is very nice to know by several different people. And I think it just comes down to dropping the ego or the idea that you always need to be perfect. Like, I always just think I can always improve, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when you look at general society, how many people actually do this work? Like, oh yeah, well, what habits am I doing that's stopping me from achieving my goals? Instead of being like, oh, I can't achieve it because I can't achieve my health goals because my flatmates buy takeaways all the time, or oh, my partner doesn't go to the gym, so now I don't go to the gym. And there's so many instances where this can come into play, and we just blame everything else around us. To enter your hot, rich, healthy, and successful era is to clear out the old. Recently, my phone gallery got so full that I couldn't take one more photo. And it's such a tedious task sitting there going through 15,000 things, deleting all the crap, saving all the stuff you do need, then transferring that to the computer, then deleting all of that you don't need. It's just like, it takes days, like so annoying. But looking back at all the stuff on there, like photos from my last relationship, photos from different times of my life that I'd been blocking out, and it was actually quite an emotional process. But how much crap are we holding on to that's not relevant to where we're heading? Like, you don't need to delete it. You can put it onto a hard drive, put it onto the iCloud in like a folder that you can access later when you need to. Who are the people that you're following on social media? Do you even follow a diverse range of bodies, or are they all like the Instagram model? Like, yes, I follow some of the top bodybuilders, but I also follow body positivity accounts with people that have a very different body type, that are a bit bigger and they have a bit more body fat, and it's actually beautiful because of the way they hold themselves, and they've got really interesting content and talking about such different topics to the bodybuilding world. So I follow a range of different people, so I'm not just like looking at this one thing like, oh, why aren't I good enough? And even though I feel like social media doesn't have a negative effect on me, because I'm like, oh no, I'm happy with my life and how I look and everything, I've noticed even thoughts keep creeping in recently. Like, I'm 28 and I've never had any work done, and I guess in New Zealand that's more normalized, but that is one thing I did worry about moving to Australia, to Gold Coast, and I live in Brisbane now. Even 20-year-olds that I know have had like filler several different times, like Botox several times, have had like different things done to improve their looks. So that, but it's actually, some of them still look kind of natural, or it can be unnoticeable. So recently I've started looking in the mirror like, are my lips too small? I've never had those thoughts before. And I'm like, oh, like, do I need lip filler? Because like my lips are looking really small. Or I'm like, oh, I don't know, like, do I need to get my eyebrows laminated, or should I start getting my lashes done, which is like, what, $100 or $120 a time, and even just the time laying in the chair is like annoying. I get some things done, like I get waxes, I get my nails done, because that's one thing I fiddle with because of my ADHD. Like when I used to be at uni and in class, I would just peel the nail until it bleeds all the time, and in social situations as well. So I do have my little luxuries, but there's things that I don't care about that now I'm like, oh no, like, should I be doing these certain things to keep up, if that makes sense? So yeah, just like look into who you follow and make sure it's like a diverse range of people. And even physically, like go through your wardrobe. My friend always laughs at me because I grew up in a house with a lot of stuff and I throw everything out. And she's like, Cassie, you need one pair of shorts, like denim shorts at least. And I'm like, oh, okay. But like I'll just go through all the time and like chuck it all out to like be donated and things like that. But I do it like a bit too excessively to the point I've got nothing left. But just hold each item and be like, do I ever wear this? How does it make me feel? Do I feel nice? Does it feel flattering? Does it make me feel like a slob? Does it make me feel like my rich, successful self? Is it really, really comfortable? And clear it out. All your makeup things, like have you got all these half empty bottles of things that you're just not going to use? Or just, we have so much crap around us all the time. So do a spring clear out. Even in your pantry, you've got cans of crap in the back of your pantry that you forgot about that you could use in recipes. So clear it all out, bring it to the front, and just like have a complete reset, because that is how you're going to make space to call in your next level self. Number 3 is, what patterns keep showing up in your life even if it's what you don't want? And the reason is because it is comfortable for you. So this can relate to different health issues, different things in relationships, friendships, different problems you keep coming across because you haven't learnt the lesson, or literally because your body feels safe. So say if it's an unhealthy relationship and you keep breaking up and getting back together and you keep arguing, it's like that need for validation, because I've been through it myself. Like, oh, I promise I'll do better next time. And then you like keep trying to work on the relationship. And when they do give you a little bit of kindness, or they notice something good that you're doing, you feel validated. Or it's like literally just being addicted to the chaos of it being like off and on and needing to go to your friends for help and things like that. And I notice some things even in my own life, I can get addicted to like the adrenaline rush of things, and like maybe not having stability in certain ways. So it's like you're always trying to like figure out the answer and things like that. But it's because your body finds it interesting, because that's all it's used to. So think about where this can apply to your own life, whether it's like attracting bitchy friendships or something, or like always having a horrible boss. And with medical things, I will link this website below that is super interesting. So I've had hives for like 8 weeks now. I'm losing track of time, and it has completely taken over my life. And I do believe in the energetics when it can come to medical issues. And I've looked into that kind of thing for even period pain before, and it's pretty interesting. Like, I like to be looked after and stuff. So what happens when you need to go to hospital and you have to have like all these heavy drugs to be able to calm the pain down? Like honestly, the last couple years, I go to hospital like every 2 or 3 months for it, like on a very regular basis. I'll be like screaming in pain in bed. I'll have to have like heaps of codeine, tramadol. I can have up to like 12 tablets a day for the pain. And yeah, what happens when you're in hospital? Oh, you get looked after. You get like the nurses attending to you and like, yeah, bringing you like food or coffee. And then when you come out, like, if like your friends or flatmates or partners like hugging you and like taking care of you for the next day or two. So that is interesting. And you may think it's weird that I'm even like admitting that online, but that's why I feel like it's important to be vulnerable and share my own stories, because you may be going through something yourself and it can be hard to hear like, no, of course I don't want that. I don't want the pain. I don't want this illness. But in the last few months, I've even seen differences in myself. I was getting such extreme bone pain over the last few years. It started when I met my first boyfriend when I was around 19. and especially around the time of my period, like in the top of my feet, my ankles, and then over the last like year, it had spread to like my shins, my thigh bones, my fingers and wrists. Like last year I was Googling if I had bone cancer because I was in so much pain. Sometimes my bones would hurt more than my uterus cramps. And I'm just like, oh my God, I've got this bone pain, like debilitating. Working even a shift, standing up, even for like 5 hours, the pain in my ankles and like my lower shin was like pulsating from the middle of the bone outwards, like needles in my bones. And I even had that earlier this year. So I've been to the doctor and stuff and like requested scans, and they're like, it's not somewhere you get pain. Like, it's not arthritis. They've never heard of anything like it. They have no idea what I'm talking about. It's such a random issue. And when you look at this website, which my mentor sent me yesterday, because I've done all these tests for the hives and things like that, but I hadn't looked into the energetic reason behind that because I just assumed it was an allergy or just assumed it was stress from the show. And for some reason just hadn't looked into that. And with the hives, it can be like, she said, making mountains out of molehills. So when there's like all these little issues, to me, they're like big issues taking over my mind, or like getting really, really stressed over little things because there's so many little things to stress about, if that makes sense. And then when you look at the bone pain, that is your perception of self. So because I was going through all the personal development things and going through breakups and literally rewiring my whole identity, that had been flaring up in the last few months since I've been super happy and on top of the world. It's actually gone away for the first time in years. In the last 2 or 3 periods I've had, I barely actually had any painkillers, and I could actually function and like go to a leg day in the middle of when it was coming. And then even a couple months ago I had a DJ gig, and it came like 10 minutes after I hopped off the stage. Even though it was coming, I was still able to hop on there and like jump around and give it my all. But previously I was just like in hospital, like needing endo and things like that. So it's crazy when you heal your mental health and perception of self and the different things that stress you out and your views on the world, like your physical symptoms can start to heal as well. So it's super, super interesting to look into that stuff. So if you experience certain physical symptoms, like look at what that could mean spiritually, and also what you gain out of having that. Like, is it keeping you in the same spot in life because if you're scared of the success? Because if you actually had the energy and thing to achieve your goal, what negative things might happen once you reach that next level? So your body's like keeping you there, like, oh no, I can't do it because of this reason. So that is what doing the work actually is. So it's like very deep and can be very hard, but you're going to skyrocket once you get through it. Number 4 is define your energy leaks. So that could be people, it could be just wasting your time on things. If you're procrastinating, ask yourself what your procrastination is protecting you from. That's a super interesting question. Why can't you do the thing? What would happen if you did become that person or did achieve that thing? You might have some negative thoughts associated with it, so you procrastinate to keep yourself in the same spot, even though you dream of this, but your subconscious mind is blocking you from it. Just be careful of what you say yes to. Like, even in the weekend, all my flatmates went out with their friends, but I've just had 2 months basically with DJ bookings almost every weekend apart from 2, and then the bodybuilding show. So that was like 2 months of grinding. Like, so on an average day I do like an hour of weight training. I was meant to do an hour of walking the dog, an hour sometimes or 2 of DJ practice, and that's not every day. Like, sometimes I'd skip walking the dog or skip the DJ practice, and then at the end I had to add in a little bit of cardio as well and try to practice posing, and then go to my actual gym job at night. Other energy leaks could be people. I have spent months, like too much time, being emotional over like men in my life, like wondering why they think a certain way, or why they did a certain thing, or like constantly thinking about them. And it's frustrating. And then I listened to a podcast this morning when I was doing my makeup, and this chick was like, just, yeah, focus, like, it's easier said than done, but you just have to focus on yourself. Like, nothing matters. Like, try to just let people do what they want to do, and then show you their true colors. And if it turns out fantastic, then great. And if it doesn't, then let that be an ick. I know it's easier said than done, it takes practice, but like, the more we keep thinking about like situations in the past, like, it's less energy that we have to put towards our goals and getting shit done and developing the right discipline and habits and taking action on things and putting things out into the world and cultivating new connections. Like other energy leaks could be dead end projects, like if you've been working towards something and it's just like not going to be worth it. Not organizing your day properly. Like, I'm sure you notice if you wake up and you start off productive, like from the moment you wake up and you get up and you make your bed and maybe unstack the dishwasher and do a bit of cleaning. If I start the day like that, I am on a roll. Like, even if I like mop the floors and stuff, I'm on a roll for the rest of the day, like so productive. If you start with the hardest task first, your brain gets used to doing that, and then you've got things to look forward to. But then if you start with the easy fun thing, you're not going to have like mental capacity to do the hard thing later. So create like little reward systems within your day and your schedule. And also just not being on top of your nutrition and fitness. Like, you'd be surprised how much that truly impacts you, like with your mood, your energy levels. Like, eating a balanced meal so that it has a slow release, so you're more level throughout the day instead of like having these highs and these lows and these cravings and then being up and down. And even with fitness, like, I've had like a lot of time off. I think I've only been 3 times in 2 weeks since the show, and have honestly barely even walked the dog. Like, I just did like a little 10 or 15 minute walk the other day, and like, I've taken her to the dog park a couple times, but I was doing like a full hour a day before, and like really spending a lot of time out with fresh air and like the sun shining on your skin and nature and listening to podcasts, and then you get joy out of seeing the dog smile as well. So even since doing less, which I truly needed the deload for my health, like, I've noticed, I don't know, like, I'll just start to get a bit depressed or be like overthinking, or I don't have the endorphins from like finishing a hard workout. So it has been essential, but when that starts to happen too much in your everyday life, you're not having that release, you're not having the proper fuel, you're not pushing yourself in the gym that allows you to push yourself in other areas of life, like business, your career, your home life, like challenging yourself constantly to do hard things. So just staying on top of the basics, like how you start the day, like try not to stay up like scrolling, which still happens to me sometimes, but just becoming super self-aware of where you can improve and where you're holding yourself back. Next, I want you to create a physical glow up list. So of course, everything starts internally with how you speak to yourself, how you spend your time, the people you're with, because that's like your whole energy field and spirituality. The food you're eating, like, that will create the radiant skin and everything, obviously, and balanced hormones and help your hair to grow. So it starts internal, but create an external glow up list of things that you want to do. Like, do you want to change your hair color? Maybe get a different style cut. Maybe like try some new makeup, like buy a couple different new makeup products and try some different styles compared to what you're used to. Maybe you want a few new different things in your wardrobe that would like help you step into a different kind of character. Even if you don't want to spend money, it can just come down to like styling yourself differently, or even doing like clothes swaps with your friends. That's really good. Instead of like going out to buy new clothes all the time and wasting all the old clothes, just have like a little clothing swap next time you meet up. One thing I did do was get my teeth whitened at the dentist, which I've been wanting to do for like a few years. Like, I've never done anything like that, but I had one yellow tooth that was like really discolored compared to everything else, just on one side from like too much coffee. And I didn't realize that chocolate like stains your teeth as well, and I always eat chocolate in bed, but like it was nice to be able to do that for myself before the show, and yeah, just have like a little bit of a physical glow up. Like got my roots done, got my fresh hair color, I got extensions for the show, but like I don't wear them in everyday life, but I just did a little mermaid shoot today. But yeah, just think about what you want to change about yourself physically, because that will make you feel better. If you present yourself in a certain way, you're going to start showing up like that in your day-to-day life. Like I did my makeup first thing this morning. I got up early, and even though I don't usually do like, I do occasional makeup at home, but because I did like photo shoot ready makeup, I was so productive and I was on top of my shit and had like, I just had like an incredible day. Like I'm really proud of myself. But if you dress sloppy, you're going to feel sloppy and act sloppy and eat sloppy food and not stick to your target. So create your little list and then just start working through it one by one. Number 6 is create an action plan with promises to yourself or targets. Like for me, I want to start waking up earlier because I sleep through my alarm every single day. And it's kind of hard because my schedule can fluctuate. Like sometimes I work at a gym reception and then I struggle to wind down at night, so I'll be awake till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I also DJ sometimes, so when you have those kind of weekends, you'll be awake till like 4 or 5, sleep for a few hours and then go to bed early the next night, but it still kind of affects you the next day. Or sometimes I do get up really early and like I'm back on track, so my whole schedule fluctuates all the time. But I want to start getting up like when I plan to, because I have more productive days when I feel like there's more time in the day. At nighttime, honestly, I'm just brain dead. So whether that is actually completing your training program for the week, doing some meal prep, even though I'm not eating my meal plan right now, I noticed that when I did have everything prepared, like say when it gets to the end of the night and you're too tired to think about what to cook, oh yeah, I made 4 servings of food the other day, so there's something like just always there ready to go. Whether it's dedicating time to work on something, like if you're wanting to start that side hustle or project or learn a new skill or study, but then you're just like out with your friends all the time or like watching TV, maybe your promise to yourself could be to set aside like every Wednesday and Thursday to work on that thing. Sort out your health issues. If there's any little niggly things, like yeah, there's like certain appointments that I need to make to just sort out things that have been like needing to be done for a while, like getting different tests done, just getting yourself into the most healthiest state that you can. Being stricter with your boundaries, creating a money-making plan to increase your income. Like if you've got debts that you want to pay off, or if you're trying to save for things, or if you don't even track your spending, or like, yeah, you need to have a money date, which is what I do once a month, and become a more conscious spender. Like I've talked about this in a previous video, but say if there's like a online shopping ad that comes up on social media or something, and I'm like, oh, they're like really cool shirts or something, and then most people honestly impulse spend and buy it straight away. They'll be like, oh, I need that right now, and just hit purchase. But I add it to a wish list on Notion, and then when I decide, oh yeah, I actually do need a couple new shirts, I can pick through all the different shirts that I've saved over the last few months and then pick like my favorite thing or whatever. So becoming a more conscious spender, so you're not just throwing your money down the drain. But it's not about not spending money, it's spending money on things that make you feel like your highest level version of you, and like things that save you time and things like that. Like I get waxes and it is really expensive. I don't know if I want laser hair removal, but waxes, to get that, honestly it's like $90 every time, because I get Brazilian and underarm. But for years and years before I could do that at the salon, I did it myself. So it's just weighing it up. Like sometimes you just got to do what you've got to do, but it's like heating up the wax, laying out the towel, spending a whole hour hunching over, giving myself neck pain, trying to like see it all in the mirror. Like honestly, my neck would be sore for like 3 days after. And it's like, okay, well, do you want to spend your time doing that and like create all this tension in your body until it hurts and like just have this massive thing that's such a drag, or just pay the money and have someone do it in like 20 minutes and then you've got that time to spend elsewhere. So it's not about like cutting back on everything, it's spending money on the things that are valuable to you or give you back more time in your life or make you feel like a higher level version of you. Ticking off the niggly things that have been on your to-do list for ages. Like there's things that I did today that have been on there for like 8 months, like dealing with the IRD, getting back to like certain companies about things. Finally started an ebook that I'll be releasing soon, and sometimes that's all it is as well. It's just like starting the thing, because it can be overwhelming if there's like a project like an ebook, and then you can become a perfectionist and then just like never start. That's what I struggle with quite a lot. So I got that started, and I'll probably be working on that for the next like 2 or 3 days, because I'm super excited about it now. But I'm making a plant-based protein guide, which is something that I've been wanting to create for a while, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And also just audit the people in your life and how they influence you. Not everyone has to influence you. Like if your friends buy takeaways or they want to go out all the time, you don't need to do the same. You can eat the food that you prep for yourself. You don't need to say yes to going out. Like you don't need to do the same things as everyone else around you. But also if you're having conversations and connecting with certain people, that will become your reality, because those certain habits or levels will become the norm. So decide the things that you need to change. And number 7 is just start acting like that person, because it's already within you. So crush your excuses. When I was in prep, like I still actually ate chocolate every single day, even like the night before show, because I physically can't live without it. But I just had to phase it out, like phase out the caramello and the Smartie chocolate to incorporate more. Then I went to peppermint, and then I went to dark chocolate. So it was just like a gradual thing, and then decreasing the amount that I was consuming, because I was having like 500 calories a day in chocolate like quite often. And I remember I just asked my coach, I was like, oh, how do you not like eat heaps of chocolate, or like how do you not do these certain things that you can't do in prep? And she's like, well, how bad do you want it? And I was like, wow, it really is that simple, isn't it? Like if you wanted to do the thing, you would, but if you don't, then you don't want it bad enough. And just romanticize your routines. I was doing my makeup the other day and I put on this really soft feminine healing podcast, and the lady was like, do not wait for a special occasion to dress up, because life itself is the special occasion. And like her voice is so calming. I never used to listen to that stuff. I used to go to sleep to marketing videos. Like I had to have lots of talking on all the time, but I'm really changing a lot at like rapid rates. Even like I'm wearing a dress, and like last week I put on a dress as well instead of gym clothes. Like even just little things like that, and like the podcast that I listen to now are just so different. But how can you romanticize the little things in your life? Like if you go out and you get a nice fancy drink, like just tasting how nice it is and like valuing that moment. Or I've been cracking myself up because I got a Venus flytrap, and like I've been like catching flies for it and stuff. And then even I woke up this morning and it had blossomed. So I'm just going to show you. I woke up and then it blossomed and like had these little flowers. And I love that I get so excited over mundane things, and I kind of feel like that is my purpose in the world I'm discovering, because so many people, you're like busy, you're in the city, you're in the concrete, you're in a rush going to your day-to-day things, and people don't notice the little things around them. But I'll find like a cool little bug or something and like post about it, or like a cute bird. Like even when I take the rubbish out at work, because I work at a gym reception, I go out there and like I always say hi to the birds and stuff. I'm like, good morning, how are you? And like I woke up and this little Venus flytrap had blossomed with flowers. I'm like, oh my god, like so excited. So just romanticizing the little things about you, like the little things in your life. I had brought myself some satin sheets, so they're like pink and apricot colour, so that every time you hop into bed it's like absolute luxury. And even if you have a nice mouthful of a dessert or something, don't just eat the dessert. Like, I brought these little mochi ice cream balls from the supermarket after my show, and I'd never tried them before. I just felt like buying it, and I sat on the couch, and instead of just like binge eating and scoffing it all down my face and being like, oh my god, I shouldn't have eaten that, I'm super present. I like sit down and like fully taste it and eat it slowly, and like think about the flavors and like how it's melting in my mouth. Like, wow, this is really delicious. And like truly take in the moment, like be present when you're eating, and then it makes it like extra special. And then also you don't feel the need to binge again because you've satisfied the craving, because you were present when you were eating and like accepted that you were eating. And number 8 on how to step into your hot, rich, healthy and successful era, to be exact, is join me for Fantasy Life. So this is a 4-week acceleration program, and I want to teach you some of the things that I've done to transform my whole entire self-concept, my life, my mindset, because I have been a mess. Like, I've been stuck in some really deep holes for long periods of time. I used to walk around and call myself a piece of shit every day after I got out of my narcissistic relationship. I had really, really low self-worth. I would beat myself up every day, even up until like a few months ago, until someone pointed it out, like, oh, like, yeah, what are you beating yourself up about today? Like, for not doing enough, and like you're not achieving enough, not doing things fast enough, not trying enough. And that's just because of my trauma from relationships and my childhood. But yeah, like I would always like compare myself to other people. And in the last few months, I've really stepped into my power, gone completely inwards, felt completely okay on my own, which I never thought that I would be able to do, and I'm actually like enjoying it. And like completely transformed the way I look, like created my glutes from, not from nothing, but like quadrupled the size, transformed my whole physique. My face looks different because when you're stressed, you like hold on to inflammation, and when you're not looking after yourself and like providing your body with the right nutrients, and like change my hair, change the way I do my makeup, change my clothes, change the way I show up in day-to-day life. Like, I am unrecognizable like in a matter of months, and it's not like you can't just do that one day. Like, you need to actually create a plan and have lots of self-reflection. So I want to walk through all of that with you. I'm super passionate about helping people achieve their dream life, because it doesn't need to be like what we taught in school, you know, like just, yeah, like I know people understand that now, like we don't need to grow up and just like get a job and stay there forever until we retire, but a lot of people are still scared to take the leap on their dreams. So I practice getting out of my comfort zone so regularly. I'm also very introvert, so like any kind of social situation is like gives me a lot of anxiety, and I need to energetically recover and be by myself for days. Like, even meeting a friend for coffee, even though they're my friend and even though it's only one person, that's like a big deal for me energetically. But one example of getting out of my comfort zone, the weekend before the show, I was booked for my dream DJ gig. I literally cried when I got it. I couldn't believe it. And I played this techno rave because I only discovered what techno was around like December from TikTok, and then just started like putting a little bits of it into my sets and like exploring the music and the culture around it, and I've fallen in love. So I got booked for my dream gig, and then on the same day I got to DJ at the gym. And it's been like something that I've wanted to do for so long. So all my wishes came true at once. Got to DJ at the gym. 2 hours later, like I just stayed in town, drove to the next venue, hopped on the stage, played there for my dream gig, and then 1 week later did the bodybuilding show. And yeah, that's just like months and months of hard work behind the scenes that all came into fruition at once. But yeah, what people don't see is like me on the Tuesday before the DJ gigs, like, oh, I've got to go pick up the speakers, and what if I don't know how to connect the chords properly? What if the people don't like the music? Like, what if I get kicked off the stage? What if it's embarrassing? What if the setup doesn't work? And then I've like practiced so many hours for nothing. Or yeah, just like worried that like I don't know what to do, or like that it won't work out or something. Or what if I go to the next one and then like the decks have something broken, and then my mixing is bad, and then they all think I'm embarrassing and I suck. Like our brain goes off on these tangents. So like a lot of people will just be like, oh, like, yeah, nah, I better not put myself in those situations that were like where I could fail or make a fool of myself. But I was so scared. I literally had a panic attack and I hyperventilated and I passed out like from lack of oxygen, because I was freaking out so much. I was so dysregulated from being in prep, absolutely exhausted, like using every last ounce of mental capacity and physical energy I have to sort out all the things in time and get ready for the show. Like, it was hard. So I was so scared that I hyperventilated and passed out. But as soon as that day hit, like I could feel in my body, like I was nervous. I was doing my makeup, like really quiet and just going inwards and really nervous. But then I just rocked up, set up, and all worked out, hopped on the stage. It was so fun. People loved it. People were like dancing in between their like sets at the gym and stuff. And then went to the next venue, had the time of my life, played a 6 set, stayed till the very last song, like dancing till 3 a.m, having like the time of my life, like deepened connections with people, loved the music, and like I got sick footage out of it, and it just all worked out. And same as the bodybuilding show last year, I was so nervous that I was almost falling over in my heels. Like I was backstage, like, oh my god, oh my next, like my hands were shaking like that. I hadn't slept the night before because I was so nervous about sleeping through my alarm and missing the show, or thinking about how it's going to go. And then this year I just woke up surprisingly calm, like went and got a coffee, and like showed up to get my makeup done, and just like released control and detached from the outcome. Like no matter what happens, it's okay, like it's all gonna work out, it doesn't matter. So creating a dream life isn't that simple. You're looking into your trauma, why you act certain ways, why you create certain things in your reality, why you keep living the same cycle over and over again, why you procrastinate to like so that you don't have to have these negative things that might happen if you are successful, and if you do achieve your goals, like you might not relate to your friend group anymore. Maybe if you're rich, you're worried that your family will ask you for money. I know I personally have a fear of being super busy, because I have gone so hard in the masculine energy and I'm really liking the feminine. But you need to have the balance to be able to get anywhere in life. So it's like becoming aware of all those different things, getting out of your comfort zone on a regular basis, like trying a new recipe, going to meet like someone new, like getting out of your routine. You can do it in little ways, like doing your makeup a different way, doing a photo shoot if that's something that scares you, learning a new skill, signing up to a class. Like I did a pole dancing class a month or two ago. Just like making it a habit to practice those little things to get out of your comfort zone, so that when you take the big leap towards your dreams, it's like second nature, or it's not like it's just another stepping stone, not a gigantic cliff you're trying to like fly to, if that makes sense. So join me for Fantasy Life. I would love to have you on board. It's going to be 4 weeks long. It will help you raise your glass ceiling and step into your personal power so you completely reinvent yourself. And we'll have weekly videos, community support, and all that kind of thing. So the link for that will be in the description. I'd love to see you there. Don't forget to head over to Instagram to connect with me and subscribe for future episodes. So thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to go all in on yourself and your future.